I, 22F, physically, mentally and emotionally cannot do a single day of my life without daydreaming. Nobody other than myself knows this about me. Not my sister, not my parents, not my friends, just me. Daydreaming takes up as much of my day as possible and is my only coping mechanism. Basically, I'll get hyper-focused on a new person, celebrity, nobody close to me, and I'll factor myself into their life and either have a familial relationship with them or a sexual relationship. I've had this habit since I was a child and am so scared to try to stop it because it's my only form of comfort/relaxation/coping mechanism. If I'm going through something at home, I'll integrate it into my daydreaming, and whatever person I'm fixated on at the time, I'll imagine them comforting me and it fixes everything. My parents have always wondered why I'm so attached to my devices, and while I do enjoy social media, it's because of this habit. I've realized in recent years that I do this because I could potentially be on the spectrum and because I have plenty of unresolved trauma in both my family and in relationships. Socially, it's driven me into a corner, and I just prefer to have my imaginary friends than have real ones because real people are so disappointing, and I'd rather have my imaginary boyfriend/girlfriend because sexually they can do for me what I want them to do. It's a massive part of my social life because even with my limited sexual experience, every single one has been extremely traumatic in some way, shape or form. So I've basically given up on trying out real relationships. Not only are the lives I'm living out in my imaginary scenarios completely different from my life, but I look different in them too. Thankfully, in my recent years the characterization of myself has looked more like my real self, but it's still very different. The worst part is that I used to have a very traumatic story for my imaginary self. I've stopped using that backstory as it's just too much, and I think I did this as a way to belittle my own real trauma to make it easier to handle. The odd thing is that in real life, even though I'm plus-sized and not stereotypically pretty, I'm confident in how I look and I like my personality. I do struggle with social anxiety and being socially awkward, but I've gotten better. I'm a college student who's studying psychology, and while I've read about this concept, maladaptive daydreaming, it's easier to understand other people's struggle with it, but not your own. I know it's very unhealthy, but I just can't let it go.